Many people think that the design is actually very easy, that they can see from any magazines or Pinterest that they can achieve in their space. As a designer, we are planning in such a way that sense of the layout that we try to understand the client's needs and design the way that they want, but not a cookie cutter like what David said earlier. That means we copy and paste. So many people think that a designer job is like a copy and paste, but actually it's more than that. Space planning, materials, finishes, things like that. That's my understanding.
For me, I think generally clients feel that it's being overcharged because they make a lot of comparisons in terms of pricing.
Yes.
So different companies will give you different pricing, but at the end of it all, I feel if you're working towards design, there's a certain element of cost involved. But if you're looking for cookie cutter, even there is cost to the cookie cutter, but contractors or ID firms may come to you initially and say at a very minimal, but you tend to actually overall pay almost equal to it, or sometimes overpay as well. But yeah, so in terms of design, and you're looking for something that's more less cookie cutter and it's more design feel, you will pay a bit more premium because you want that ownership of that space as well.
Yeah, I think if I were to just write off what Carlin mentioned, people think it's just really easy to just make a switch, like shift the wall, and I want it in the next day.
Oh, yeah.
But there's so many knock-on effects because like on the computer it's just the line, right? You just shift, but actually on site these things come into play. Like you shift the wall means the door is gonna be affected, the flooring's affected, the ceiling's affected. So I think people think that the designer's job is just it's very picture pretty. Actually, isn't. There's a lot of different things that go on in the back end. It's probably not shared, ought to be shared now. Like from a technical point of view, from an aesthetic point of view, from a budgeting cost. So every time there's a design change, you will touch on these three things, right? There is time, cost, design that you will hit, even a simple shift of something on your floor plan or a decision that you make on site. Those are some of the knock-on effects. So to our residential clients, simple shift is not just that simple shift.
So a memorable client that kind of worked with this jumbo flat, the client just gave us the liberty to do what we wanted in terms of design. Of course, there were inputs from him, but he had a major overall team of black, right? But because the space gave us that freedom to express certain designs, he was very welcoming in terms of how he was placed. And in terms of costing, it actually helped us because we were not limited in terms of what kind of materials we could introduce for that space. And through him, we actually had a few more referrals come through his house that people visited.
For myself, memorable clients is actually we have a space that is quite impossible to plug in whatever they require because of the space constraint. So basically, we try to understand what is the lifestyle of the couple, and then we introduce things like a library part of the house, which is amazingly they are very happy with the results and how a library can be achieved in the HDB flat in that sense. So the house is actually have a living room, kitchen, library, and bedrooms and closet rooms, everything like as family room. So it's amazing. That's an amazing journey and memorable client. I must say that.
Generally, I think when clients give you a kind of a free hand, right? To do something, I think you probably get a better result because there's an element of trust, right? And perhaps even if it may not be their aesthetic, perhaps preference, but they trust that you've done it to the best of your ability. I think those outcomes are usually quite good. Obviously, I guess the reward is when you walk into that space, right? Having seen it on the drawings, on the computer screen, in bits and pieces of it as mood boards and samples. When you start seeing it come to life, I think those are some of the best parts of the job, right? You actually see its space come to life beyond just the digital realm, and you also see the people use it in ways that were unexpected, but not designed for. And those are the bits of wonder and magic that I think you get as paying the price of working in this industry.
Yeah.
Right?